Good evening. Now you can say happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
There you go.
How's that? I got the day
Taryn.
right.
Taryn, I thought you'd be on tonight. I thought everyone was on Monday. Everyone on YouTube. If you see me looking over there, I'm looking at YouTube as well. Trying to keep track of YouTube and Facebook. Even with the shades on, even though I can't see that well, I have to wear them because insurance sucks, doctors suck, and everything pretty much sucks.
That's not true.
True, very true.
No.
I'm supposed to get my I get nerve blocking injections, and I get them every 3 months, like clockwork, for the last I don't know how many years now. It's been several years, and I also have to take medication on top of that for nerve pain and to stop my nerves from firing the way they do because of neurological issues that I have. And believe me, as that day gets closer to the injections and all that stuff, and it doesn't happen, things start getting wonky, and the pain starts, and between the fall with Walter and then Saturday night really took more out of me than I thought it did. And man, I was not good. I mean, I've been on the heating pad and doing nothing for everything hurts. So
I don't think we were neither one of us were present for Sunday. Sunday was just
my neurologist is off all month, the entire month of February. No notice of that, even though I had an appointment in February. That don't matter. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. How's everyone doing? Hey, Nicole, Anna.
Not happy, but it's Monday.
Carlos, how are you? Patricia, Deb, how's it going? Yes, Monday. We had our first official event of 2026, and I'm ready to go on hiatus again.
I don't know if you'd think that, Tyron.
What she said?
I'm glad you think that, but I don't think you would.
How was what? Being married? What?
To one of her favorite women on the planet.
Oh, I'm married to her.
See?
What'd you think I was married to, Taryn? Her. I'm married to her right here. Chris. Okay. Anyway. So we were at the Burlington prison, and I would try to tell you a story without telling. I'll see how much of this is I can tell as we go forward here.
I don't even know where you're gonna go with this, so we're gonna see.
You never do.
No, I
Because
don't.
you're ill prepared.
Because he doesn't.
I'm always.
It's not
prepared.
being
ill prepared.
You can't call someone
prepared.
ill prepared if you don't talk to them.
You were there.
I wasn't in your group.
I mean, the
in
day,
general.
Oh my
in
lord.
general. I don't know. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Nico.
Wendy, my God, we haven't seen
She's
you
in Florida
forever.
where it's not so warm right now.
Thank you. Hey Ann, how are you? So we met up with the two people from the Historic Society who are very good friends of ours, Janet and Brenda. We've known them for years.
Really good people. Amazing,
again,
amazing women.
The events that we do at the Burlington Prison are for the Historic Society. That's all the proceeds go to the Historic Society. And we're doing that. We did it last week, this past weekend, and we're doing it next weekend. They're doing some new AI thing that they're rolling out. I don't want to talk too much about it because I think it's supposed to be a big rollout that they're going to do, but they're doing some kind of AI program there that sounds like it's going to be friggin' incredible. So they're raising money for it, and we helped out a little bit. It's going to cost a decent amount of money, but sounds awesome. So anyway, we meet. Hey Veronica. Hey, Doris, we meet Janet and Brenda for a meal, like we do most times, because again, we're friends, and everything was nice and normal, conversation wise. We talked like people talk. I imagine
it went off the rails,
and my God, did it go off the rails in a quick, fast, and in a hurry. I mean, it was by far we went from hoarders to pigeon poop to just a lot of
and just weird, to give you guys some insight,
weird subjects.
Janet is a lawyer, and she knows how to handle herself, and she knows how to react, and she usually can keep a really stone face, take in what you're saying, and just move on. Several times John threw her off her game, and I wish, and I said it to Brenda was there, because we were cracking up laughing so hard. I wish we had a camera somewhere videotaping Janet's reaction to this man's comments when she was talking to him about these different things. And the cat.
Putting a cat down. I mean,
we did the gambit.
I really wish I could tell you that I couldn't do it without Janet's permission, but
no,
I really wish I could, because I'm literally sitting there like, what is happening here?
It was very entertaining.
What are we talking about? Well, this is just friends catching up. Hey, Alex, David. So that set the tone for.
Hey, Ann, I saw you pop on there.
For the evening, and then we go and go to the prison, and again, we were there for the news piece that they did, but we were there for like a half hour maybe, and we were in and out, but we really haven't been back there for a year and a half, 2 years doing anything, and I missed that place. I'll be honest with you. I forgot how much I enjoyed being there until we were there with everyone that was there.
Hey, Rosa.
And it was a good time. I had a good time in the basement. I always go in the basement where the murder took place of the warden, and there was some crazy stuff, man.
There's some weird stuff.
Veronica was like, man.
She was the magnet.
I have this piece of equipment that I didn't love until Saturday. You may have seen it or heard it if you watched some of the Creeper Gallery investigations. I have this box. It's no different than those other motion boxes that make music, if people pass in front of it. Only this one attracted me because it looks like a little old radio, and you could pick the song that you wanted to play. And one of the options was Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
Which is creepy.
Tiny Tim. Oh, ever since I watched Insidious, that song has creeped me out. So I was like, oh, I'm picking that one. I brought that thing with me to the Creeper Gallery a bunch of times, and the only time it triggered was when I walked by it, and I'm like, man, this thing just doesn't work. And so I put it in a cell, facing. Let's say I'm sitting where I'm sitting, facing you. I put it in front of me, but the sensor was facing the wall that way. So the only way to trigger the music box would be if you got up, walked over, and put your hand in front of the sensor, which was facing the wall because you're sitting back here. The sensor wasn't facing the person sitting, it was facing away at the wall. So I had that, and I had a bell that works by motion, same way. And for two groups, three group, whatever it was, 3/4 of the night, I'm like, damn, oh no, half the night. I'm like, man, such a good idea, such cool music. I knew it would freak people out if it went off. Nothing. So we take a break, and Danielle comes
Hi,
down.
Christine.
Danielle comes down to talk to me, and we're talking about whatever. And we're in the middle of the hallway of the basement of the prison, all the way down towards the end. And she didn't even know what was going on. All of a sudden, I hear, and I stopped her. I'm like, do you hear that? And she's like, yeah, what is it? I'm like, that's my motion box. It's in a cell and nobody's in there. So I go take it off, and she comes following me, and we're looking through the window. Didn't go off again. I was like, Danielle, you heard that. Even if it don't go off again, it's worth what I paid for it because I heard it go off. Well, Veronica was in there with whoever was in there, and man, that thing just kept playing, stopping, playing, stopping. Even when she got out of the cell and we were all in a different area, there it was again. There, new batteries, fresh batteries, and everything. We always change the batteries and charge everything.
Yeah, Tracy and Joe and I were talking about that.
Event. Every single event, we change the batteries. That's why we spend so much money on batteries. I just ordered another 100 9-volt. But
got to say thank you to Kathy, because Kathy hooked us up with
the gift card. Yeah, the gift card went towards those 9-volts. So I had a good time down there, and there was a couple of people that are conduits. I say it every time that it could be the person. Alex, our buddy Alex, who's watching. Alex had a hell of an experience.
Oh,
and I let him sit, baby. when that you press that button and it starts working, you don't you don't unpress that button. You let it play out and see what happens. And Alex sat in that chair. Red Pod was going nuts by him when it wasn't going off for anybody else, and he was getting different things coming through, and it was something to see. But Alex, if you never met him, Alex is a stocky guy, shaved head. He's and Alex looked like he could be corrections.
Oh, he looks military.
Just like Tommy.
Yep.
Tommy's stocky guy, bald head. He got
Tommy looks like he could be. Yep.
The only one who wasn't was the other Alex, tall kid. I call him kid. He's probably 30, whatever, but tall guy. And as soon as I saw him, I said, I bet you're going to get a reaction, because whoever's around here reacts to people that they kind of think are like guards, because they know they're not
that
them.
Came to the thing that was a corrections officer, and we didn't know it. We're going back a few years, and he went down there with
the last one.
You think was
the
it?
last one?
And that guy went in there, and we had no idea that he was a corrections officer, and he started talking with an authoritative voice, and he got instant reactions that went boom, boom. It was insane.
Tracy says hi there, but what is spirit intent is different for every circumstance, every situation, and sometimes every person.
Yeah. It would be like saying to a person, what's the person's intent? We don't really know.
Every time a different person walks in the room or is in the area. It's kind of hard. I mean, you can judge by their reaction sometimes too. Sometimes it is hello, just, hey, I'm here. Other times it's, I don't really like the person who's in the room or asking me questions. Sometimes it's, I don't want to talk to you, but I'll talk to that person.
Yeah.
They're people. You get a different reaction in different situations in different places with different people. There isn't any, you kind of figure it out as you go, if they like people.
Well, it's funny that you said that Alex had reaction, because when Alex was under a blindfold sitting around and sitting in a chair in the corner upstairs in one of the bigger prison areas that they changed into like a museum room for the ship that the prisoner made, and the hanging rope and the different items from the prison that's up there, that's under glass. He was sitting in that corner, and the girls in his group were saying that the things that were coming across was like it was flirting with Alex, and they just assumed it was a woman. But there was a few things that I'm not going to say on here. If you were in the group, you knew what they were. That were a little bit. It kind of got a little out of hand with Alex up there. Alex had, I think, something had a crush on Alex up in that top part, and it was interesting to see how that played out in that group. Yeah, Alex was a trooper in that back room. You're right about that, Maria. Maria had a lot of activity because she didn't want to. Because people were doing the experiment that I was doing in the room, and then I said if she wanted to, she could go back, and she was getting all kinds of stuff back in that back area where the jail
Alex,
cells were.
it was so cool with Alex, and I'm reading. We're watching him, and
Hey, Sydney.
We're away from him. We're not near him, and he is literally saying, "Something's by me. Something's by me." And the REM pod is
That happened upstairs.
like reactionary environmental change noticeable right there when he's saying something's by me. And and I'm the type of person where if you want out, take leave the area, say I don't want to do this, I'm done, and boom, you're out. But if you're willing to stay there when the stuff is happening and you're willing to ride it out, I'll let you ride it out until I see where it's going. I mean, that's kind of the purpose of what we're doing. As long as nobody's getting hurt or anybody's really in danger, if they're getting pushed or scratched or really bad things are coming through, then you pull them out. But sometimes you want to see what kind of activity. And in that particular area, like I said, for those of you who don't know, have never been to the Burlington prison, in the basement, and this is an old prison. This dates way, way back. In the basement, there was a guy who was arrested for drunken disorderly. He didn't do anything really bad.
No.
He somehow got out of his cell, went into like the boiler room, grabbed some kind of metal object. He waited until the warden went by with a trustee, and he bludgeoned him to death right there in the basement. And we're literally in that spot where it happened. And there's energy. There's tangible energy in that area, which, you forget. And again, we're going to be right back in there this coming weekend. So who knows how happy they're going to be with me.
So that
when I come back.
I have to tell you, with the hi Christopher, the groups the group that I had and Danielle had, because it is hard to do EVPs there, and the people that were there last night really knew, and but sometimes you still have to try to do. So we moved down to another section to an area, a room, specific jail cell that I personally knew what had happened in that room and what had happened outside that room when I was there with just the team without an event. And we were doing EVP around the session, and I said to Danielle, because it's the first time Danielle's done an event there with us, and I said, I would like you to ask whatever you want to ask a question about Philip Lynch, and I said, and just know that they did hang him here. That's all I'm going to tell you. They hanged him right outside, out in the gallows, which we did not go out to because it was way too cold in the snow. It wasn't shoveled out, Doris. So at the end, she looks at me and goes, "You want to ask the question?" I'm like, "Nope." She asked the question, "Are you affiliated or something with Philip Lynch?" And a male voice as clear as day, and this will be the highlight forever up in that area, told her, "Close your effing mouth," as clear as day. And anyone in this group that was there for that, who heard that, should say what you guys heard, because it was friggin'. And Luann asked, "What game did you play?" And you know what it said? Jacks. Oh. That's an old time game.
Hey Dana, how are you?
And it said it was 7.
The thing that she's talking about that she fails to.
Yeah, I don't want to put it out there, but he's gonna.
She we were there investigating, not with people, just with us. So we had cameras and we were filming, and this is before we started doing live streams on our phone. We were just filming everything, and with IR cameras. So Chris is filming me, Tanya, and Kenny in the cell, and she's standing outside the cell. And there was also a camera down at the end of the hallway filming the entire hallway that could catch her standing outside the cell filming us in the cell. So we're all standing there and we're doing what we're doing, whatever. And all of a sudden you hear a loud bang.
And I had a scream in
She
my ear.
literally left her feet. She jumped. It was like, whoop. And, of course, she comes into the cell and we're all laughing at her because, of
There
course,
wasn't laughing.
I mean, it was just, come on, man.
Not the fact that I'm standing in a hallway in the dark where I've never been before. Not only is there a bang that I jumped to, there's a scream. A male screamed in my ear where there's nobody. They're in a room, in that cell room, and as soon as I jump or what, they're just cracking up laughing, not asking what happened. I'm trying to explain. I'm freaked out, and they're just like. But Philip Lynch was in that cell. I think Joe. What was his name? I'm so bad with the names now. I just Philip Lynch is because just the threats and the stuff he made before he was hanged.
I'm looking on YouTube here. I want to say hi to
He's just saying hi to people on
hello to Carol. David's over there. Ann's over there. Wendy's over there. If you watch the footage
hey Kathy.
From the camera down the hall, you see her, you hear the banging, you see her
like the ghost part.
And it is just hilarious.
That wasn't me, Heather. Well, even though they claim it was me, that wasn't me in the mind that did that. That's the horrific part.
We have video
Chris
proof.
got me again. Yeah, that was
video
unintentional.
Proof, Heather. If we had a thermal imager, we would have captured the actual cloud coming from where it came from.
So Maria's telling me that there was like a shadow figure or person or like a thing that she was getting reaction from, and she had the flare. So I go around over to the corner of that cell. Alex, you were in there with somebody. I don't know who it is. Who I can't remember who was in there. If it was Tamara or Patricia, and all of a sudden he just happens to look over while I'm right there looking, and he scared the crap out of him.
I can't read that.
Molnar.
But it was a good night, and we went from there. Again, it's these nights sometimes they don't end at the event.
Oh my God.
They continue on sometimes. So
I think
we clean up.
Hey, Tanisha.
It was cold as hell. You guys know that outside. So we get everything together, pack it in the cars. Now our good friends Tracy, Joe, and Tommy want to go get something to eat. So me, Chris, Danielle, and Nikki are like, okay, what's open? It's midnight, 12:30. 11:30, midnight-ish. So TGI Fridays. I keep saying Applebee's. It was TGI Fridays.
It was.
I didn't pick it, but it was the only place that was open. We walk in there, and whenever I go to any restaurant this time of the year, I say the same thing. Give me the table furthest away from the door. Yeah. I don't want to be anywhere near the door in the cold, ever. So we did that. We picked the table that was literally furthest away from the door. And we're feeling the vent above us blowing what felt like cold air. And we're like, is it cold or is it me? And everybody's like, no, it's cold. So long story short, we literally were dressed like we were. I posted one of the pictures of Nikki. We were dressed like we were outside. They said they rebooted the heater and it was supposed to blow hot air. Never.
Full blast, ice
hoodies,
air.
Jackets. We would have been better off eating in our car, to be honest with you. It was freezing in there. It
was beyond cold.
And poor Joe, I'm not going to tell you which TGI soda, but poor Joe orders very simple, right? A bacon hamburger, right? Bacon hamburger.
No cheese.
Easy, right? Easy. It takes forever for them to come out with our food. And we didn't order a whole lot. Freezing. We asked them 3 times, please do something about the temperature. Please. Okay, I'll go back. I'll do it. Freezing.
Thank you,
so first time now they come out with everybody's food. Joe gets a cheeseburger. And Joe grabs it and goes, no. This isn't what I wanted. I wanted a bacon hamburger. Okay. Jonah has to wait even longer while the rest of us are it's already cold in there. We're not going to wait
No,
for our
it
food to get
wasn't,
cold.
Doris. It was ice cold.
So we're eating our food and stuff, and they come back out with Joe's. It's now just a hamburger, no bacon. And I'm busting his chops. I'm like, you send that back again, they're gonna roll it on the floor. They're gonna kick it around like a hockey puck. They're all gonna lick it.
The only thing that was hot, was I got like, it was like a bowl of coffee, not a cup of coffee,
No,
like a
nothing
bowl
off
of
our bill.
coffee.
Nothing.
And I literally handed it over to Joe and them to unthaw their hands off of. It was crazy.
What did I say?
Really?
What'd she say? I complained. They're what? They're sending. Oh, are they?
Oh, I complained, and they're sending me a $50 gift card. I was going to give it to you for now. Oh, that's so sweet.
That's awesome. At least they took care of you. But that was, again, we had a good time. Even though it was cold as hell, we still had a good time hanging out. But we didn't get home till 2:30. A shower. You don't get to bed till 3:30. And man, you feel it. You know, so that was
what we felt that really did it in is that
carry everything out
our street was loaded with cars, and then of course the snow and the ice here. We have a dead end street, and a lot of people around here don't like to shovel, and they like to take their spots. So he goes, I'm driving. He goes, "What are the odds we've got a place to park?" And I said, "Oh, I'm going to be hopeful here." So we pull in, we literally are out in the middle of the road unloading into the apartment in the cold and have to go back out and try to go finagle a spot for the car, which was funny.
We have to unload it because you can't leave that stuff out in the cold.
No, that ice cream, I didn't even, because I can't eat the ice cream. I ate that. But the brownie was supposed to be hot. That was the purpose of the brownie with the ice cream, was the brownie was supposed to be hot. And the brownie was cold. And then the ice cream I can't eat. And the ice cream sat there where everybody else's food was just ice cold. The ice cream just stayed solid. That was crazy.
Yeah,
like so it was plastic. No, it was just that cold in there.
So before that, I don't even know if we talked about the Creeper Gallery. Did we talk after we did the Creeper Gallery? I don't even remember. But I think, did we? Because I remember talking about having to park up on the parking lot and walk in the snow. Yeah, that doll was very, very interesting. And I actually have willed something to happen, which is the first for me. The universe will never give me great things, but every now and then the universe gives me something. I'm talking about as far as like, I want this, and then boom, something happens.
Objects, items. Okay.
Yeah. So we, it's been icy, it's been snowing.
Oh.
And we ran out of, what do you call it again?
He knows I have
what is it called?
Speech dyslexic. So I know what it's supposed to be, but I say salt rock, and it's supposed to be rock salt.
She said that.
And if anyone knows me really well, I speak backwards a lot. I have speech dyslexia, and it's funny
all the time. So anyway, we ran out. We had just enough for the last snowstorm after going out there with all that ice and everything. And I went out to buy more and couldn't find it anywhere. It was like trying to find toilet paper during COVID. And I'm like, eventually I'm going to have to buy it because we're going to get snow again or whatever. So today, the air in my tires was low all day long. Finally stop. I go to find the compressor in my hatchback, and I couldn't find it. So I'm taking everything out of my car. And on the bottom of everything was a big full bag of rock salt. That must have been there since last year.
Like you
had to, And I was like, oh, well, thank you. At least something.
And the
universe just
this guy was freaking out because I had when they come in the plastic container that you can shake out. I had one of those from a year ago, and it, for whatever reason, it solidified and just was one big massive block. And I was just like, well, this is what we have. So I was sitting there with a hammer.
She is such a, I mean, there are times where she even surprises me. And I really shouldn't be surprised anymore. I hear big bang, big, big, big bang, bang, bang. And I look, and she's got a screwdriver, and she's chiseling.
Yeah,
this
I did. I chiseled the top so I could get in there.
Rock salt, and nothing is coming of it.
And it worked.
It didn't work at all. I hammered it like crazy with a hammer. I broke all the plastic around it, and I still got about that much out of it.
That's what you got. But before you, I got all
You're
the other
such
part, and I
crazy.
did that
You
whole
got-
part
you
that
got
actually did that
nothing.
whole
You
side.
lie like a rug.
He's so full of
You
a
lie like a rug.
No, I'm not.
You got nothing.
Listen,
out of
Shaggy.
that rock.
You're the rug that's lying.
And she won't quit. She'll keep going.
Oh, I
because she
will.
knows
I'm
she's
stubborn.
Right. She knows she's right.
I'm stubborn when it comes to I'm right. I'm right.
Nothing out of that. Nothing.
Yes, I did. Anyways, hi, Kathy. You shouldn't be.
Hey, Kathy, how are you? So, yeah, it was a cold night going to Burlington Prison, getting in there,
I was off
being
that
out
night.
all day. It was cold. The building was hot. The Burlington Prison, if you haven't been there, those first floor and second floor are like the Bahamas. The basement's a little chilly, but man, you go up to those top floors, it is hot
It's
up
warm.
there.
It was warm.
I was in the lower level, and it really did. It's different being all the way up in.
I have to be honest with you. For like, I was fine when we got there, and I was fine when we were getting ready to get started. But it was just it was like I was just not with it. I had a few people laughing because I forgot where I put stuff and I forgot what I was in the middle of doing.
Okay, that's it.
Taking
applications.
And thank God everybody's so like
they're
just so understanding and accepting. It was just like I'm like, what is wrong with me? There's Brenda. We were just talking about you, Brenda.
We were talking about our dinner conversation. We don't really go into detail, but we did mention
that it was very interesting.
Pigeons, cats, and lots of other things that don't make for proper business dinner conversation. But yeah, that was different.
But I could, like, when I was up in that one room where that ship was, it was like I never could get clear. I was just so disoriented, and so I don't know how to describe it. But once I was out of there, I was fine. So I don't know if it was just
hey Roger
there or whatever, or if it was just whatever's going on up here.
Well, and like I said, we're going to be back. It'll be the first time. No, I think we did back-to-back events at the Smith Cadbury.
We did
2 weekends.
We did.
It's weird when you do that, because you never know. You wonder about, again, are they going to be like, oh, these people are going to be back? Do you pick right up where you left off, or you know what I mean? It's such a different animal when you're at a place 2 weeks in a row. Most places where we hadn't been there for a month or two or three or more, and you could tell it takes them a while before they're like, oh, it's you guys.
You felt that in that room too, Alex? You felt like it was off, like there was like, so I did actually, because I put the obelisk, but what I did was I put it up by the ceiling, believe it or not, so that it was nowhere near whatever. And as I was doing it, it was saying that it was violent and that it wasn't not. So like after the first session, I took it down. I didn't want it up there.
Wow. Kathy got to see firsthand how old and broken down I am. When she was in my group, I bent down. I don't know if it was to move her REM pod or something, and she was near me, and everybody else was in rooms. And I went down and I came up and I just held myself. And she's like,
I think so
and
too, Alex.
I looked at her. I said, I really hurt myself. And she said, you did? I said, oh yeah, I just really hurt myself. And I was trying to work through it and keep going, but man, it felt like the Hulk just punched me in the shoulder and the chest and the ribs, and all of a sudden I just stood there like, oh man, what am I gonna do?
I was grateful. Tommy and Tracy took down the tent.
I was really, really hurting at that point.
Saw a teddy bear, so something was going on.
Ann, you and that creeper gal, you like us to be there every night, Ann.
We had to go through ice and snow and climb down these stairs.
I must say this. Everyone knows that I'm a big Ghost Adventurer fan. I just enjoy that show. Even though I do talk to the TV a lot. When I watch that show, I talk to the TV when I watch a lot of shows, but they're entertaining as hell. And I did thoroughly enjoy the investigation of the museum. I think they got some good stuff, some other stuff they kind of go overboard with. It's like, you know,
Zach.
yeah, they almost have almost like a formula in which you feel like they almost film segments, and one of the segments is always somebody getting angry, or I'm not feeling good, or bro, I'm almost gonna fall here, and they kind of edit it to so that they have all these different things, but they get good stuff, and they kind of, you know, mess up the good stuff a little with some other stuff, but they did get really good stuff. It was interesting to see them finally investigate that museum the right way with all the gadgets and spirit box and all that. And they did get some good stuff. Some
No,
stuff,
they did.
but other stuff was pretty damn good. And that's the part I like when I don't get to see what we do. I never watch the live streams after. I don't have to do that anymore. I only used to have to do that when we used to do the auctions. That was the only time I ever had to go back and watch our live streams and clip them for the auction. So I really don't watch anything over again unless there's something really cool that happened and I want to see if I can hear it again.
Yeah.
So I never get to really watch what we do because we're there, and watching them do what they were doing. And I was enjoying it because I know what it feels like. It's a weird dynamic. Like, I'm watching them go room to room and objects are doing this and they're getting voices that shouldn't be there, and I'm like, it's exactly the way it is. There's no other way to describe it when you're in a building with those objects, and some of them have energy attached to it.
Yeah.
It's like hard to describe. Like you brought them in. You know what I mean? It's like not as if it was a building and the spirits were there already because they had lived there or worked there or died there. You're bringing them in when you have a place like Donna's. They weren't there. You brought all that in, and they're existing and they're around, and it's such a weird dynamic. I love it. I love every minute of it.
Just like what I said happened Saturday night up on that floor in that cell, where that male voice came across. Shut your not close. The exact word was close your mouth to Danielle. I was like, oh.
Man, these were men. Women were there too, but these are criminals. I mean, let's face it. They're not all going to be polite.
No, I get that, but to hear it's one thing when you hear something and you're telling everybody what you're hearing, but everybody got to hear it. I was like, I knew that he's strong, but I didn't. You never know who's going to show up and what's going to happen. And it was just one of those impulsive things where I said, Daniel, just ask a question about Philip Lynch. And I said real quick who he was, that, he, and the reaction to that was, to me, it just solidifies some of the things that you think are ideal, what you think about ideally about the prison and about that person. When you know about, this is why I say to anyone, if you go to some place and you have an interaction or something happens, like with this Philip Lynch, go research him after, find out what his character was, and then maybe you can understand more why his reaction was the reaction that it did. Because that guy wasn't a night. He didn't go. He went kicking and screaming out, threatening everybody on his way out. Even in court, he was threatening.
The funny thing is, in all these years of doing this, I'm trying to think of how many buildings that I've been concerned about being in, like where, I had apprehension going in and a kind of a healthy fear of what could be there. There are very few, to be honest. And if I did have it, it was as a result of something that happened, not anything I had, before I went in. There wasn't a healthy fear of anything going in.
Right.
It was a healthy fear of something that happened coming out. You know what I mean?
I do.
So, but with objects, it's different. Objects,
why?
Because they're mystery boxes. Every one, even the ones that say Grandma Gertrude who bake cookies every Saturday. They're mystery boxes. You never know when you take off the wrapper and open the box who's there. It may not be her. It may be someone connected to her,
or
you know
more
what I
than
mean?
one.
I mean, buildings people have been in before for the most part. So there's a foundation, even from the people who live there or whatever. So at least there's a foundation of experiences. You know what I mean?
So
Whereas an object is different. An object is, basing it on that one person who had it or owned it, and whatever happens from there happens. And I've gotten worse interactions with an object than I did with a building. I mean, I've had objects really
you
mess me
have.
up. Buildings, that's never happened, knock on wood. I mean, you had a couple of buildings that have really messed you up, but me, no, I don't have, I guess like it's so weird.
And objects.
And I go in with the same attitude, both places. When I go into a building, we went into this one building. I won't give anything away because this was years ago. We were called in there because they were experiencing activity, and they wanted to see what was going on. They wanted a group to go in. They wanted to help. Blah blah blah. And we go in there, and the husband, the mother and father of the husband and wife are there, and we're talking to them, and they're telling us stuff happens upstairs, stuff happens in the kitchen area, stuff happens there. And we're listening, and we're like, is this the only people that are in the family? Well, our son lives with us. Okay, well, where's he? He's not here right now, but he, he's messed around with the Ouija board.
Oh,
He has books on the occult and all this other stuff. And, he comes down and finally comes and we get to talk to him. And it's just like during that whole conversation, you're just getting the vibe. Now, I'm not saying that I would never say that one person. I've said it in the past, but I know spirits can affect one person and one person only within a house. I know that's possible, but everything that I was getting from the mom and the dad, and we're not talking like it wasn't a kid. This was a man. This was young. He was probably in his late 20s, almost 30, who lived with them. And everything that they were saying were things that he.
Yeah. They were reiterating what he was saying.
They never experienced anything. They never went through anything. And here he is. He had a Ouija board where Ouija wasn't even spelled right. It was spelled with a W.
It was a knockoff.
I'll never forget that. I'll never
but didn't
forget
he have
that.
like a weird collection of weird statues or something too that they all found really creepy?
Everything he had looked like it was for the purpose of
angst,
creating a haunting. You know what I mean? Like it looked like he was looking for it. You know what I mean? And we went in there, did our diligence, had a medium come through and do a cleansing and all that stuff. And I think that's what I think they wanted a haunting bad enough to where I don't think the Pope himself could have gone in there and changed anything for them, to be honest with you, because I think they liked the idea that their neighbors would come over and this is what we heard.
It was like something you put on the coffee table for a conversational piece.
And they did that. Yeah. And it was just like you get those cases and you get those people that call you and again I talked to even John Zaffis about this where he would say to me, some people just want to show. Some people just want you to come in and be the fourth group that said, yep, it's haunted, because they want that. And this was the total vibe I got from that house.
And like the old lady doll. I can't see can you click on that? I don't know where the thing is to see where the rest of her statement.
It's on my phone.
Oh.
I can see it.
But that's how do you project into the TV?
Through my tablet.
Oh, where is it? But no, that
we're gonna stop everything now.
Because I want to see what her thing is. She says she wishes she could actually hold it in her hands. Yeah, why, Anne? Why would you want to hold her? Is there something about her that you're just drawn to her? Because she does emanate. She emanates.
Well, here's the thing. about the obelisk. Obelisk reacts to energy, EMF. And if you were to put the obelisk next to uh, junction, whatever they call those boxes, power box, whatever,
Yeah.
the thing's going to talk till the battery dies. It
Yeah.
literally would just keep
It'll
going
just
and
go,
going.
it's triggering it.
Because I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to embarrass the person, but someone was doing investigations with an obelisk and keeping a journal. And I would say to this person, just be careful. Where do you have it? If you have it in a certain place, it's going to keep talking, and it's going to keep talking. Try moving it across the room
and like sir
to where it's not talking so much, and then see what comes through. Now you see when we go to Creeper Gallery, it's always in the same general area, and we're lucky if we get 2 words, maybe 3. We're lucky, and then we wind up turning it off. That doll, man, that person wanted to get that whole story.
What was the word
whole
that she
story.
said?
Everything. Religion,
No.
judge.
No. There was something that was said that was pretty profound. God, I'm gonna have to go back and look at the video. But when we were doing it in the obelisk, I weren't speaking to her. I'm talking. It was the mirror. It was the mirror that she said something that was kind of right. God, my mush. I'm
I have
getting
no idea what you're talking about with the mirror.
The obelisk said something that was really connected to it. What she said was very profound. But I can't.
There were several things that she said was. Well, one thing it was.
I just wish I could remember what it was, but that's gonna bug me. I got Saturday in my brain, so it's almost like I do a dump of what happened once we move on to the next, and that's gone, and we're just right to the next.
It's hard.
What can I say?
It's really hard. It's like being the horse and the carriage. I somehow have to.
I could say something
somebody
to that,
else just sits on the top,
but it's not nice. I sit on top.
Yeah, on the little ledge there and just ride.
Oh Lord!
Every now and then you'll do one of these.
Oh, Mr. Ruggiero.
Every now and then you'll, just to make it look like you're.
Do you know how, like
contributing.
Alex and Kathy said before they leave, like they left the prison, that they said whatever was there had to stay there? Well, I have another thing that I say.
I'm just saying. Just saying. No, but it's
the doll had a lot to say. Yeah, many words. Judge was one.
I mean, again, that's what, if I was by myself that night, I'd have been there till 11 o'clock. Easy.
You would have.
Because I don't let go. Once that stuff starts happening, I want every bit of information I can get. Every bit. Because we talked to her before. She didn't talk like that. Oh, I talked to her before.
I wasn't there when you did.
She didn't talk like that. She was trying to tell everything she could. And again, it may have been, in theory, one of those things where, yes, we talked to her a long time ago. Now she realized after all this time of talking to everyone else,
I'm comfortable with you. I'm building.
I'm going to get it all out now because I may not get this chance again.
So I'm going to ask you something then. You've done her twice. That was my first exposure to her, and I didn't really interact with her. You did, because she's in the red room, the deemed dangerous room. Do you get a feeling from her that she has a dark edge to her?
If there is, it's based on trauma, or what she believes is trauma.
So not where I'm out to hurt you, harm you.
No, that may be the case.
Oh, like the anger from it,
yeah,
or the pain
that may
from
be
it.
But she was trying to tell.
Hi, Sally.
She was trying to tell the story of what led to where we
Because we have to get home some point, Alex.
You know what I mean? I think that's what she was doing. She was laying out the groundwork for, if this is what's said about me, if this is how I'm betrayed, well, let me tell you why.
Yeah.
This, and this, and this, and this happened.
And she did.
That happened.
And pointed out the right words. She said judge, and she said other things, and it seemed to be, didn't she say like something about Earth or something? It was like really crazy. Almost like maybe you got a sense that maybe the way that some of the wording was that she was judged on something that she did or how she was.
There was writings. I know it was religion. I know it was a lot.
Yeah.
And I loved every minute of it. I was just like, Wow. And again, that's where I would give anything to have some kind of soundproof area of that building
Yeah,
to really sit
that is
and
frustrating when you
do
know
EVPs.
when you are trying to communicate with them and they are communicating with you in a way that, you know, if you could record and their voice comes through, or a voice that
It
to
didn't get a
communicate,
dark
it's really
edge.
hard when you have like the cars or that go by that are loud, or somebody comes outside and it's talking.
I don't know about that. Obviously, someone's experienced darkness with it, or
Yeah,
what they called evil. It wasn't even darkness; they labeled it as evil. So somebody experienced that, which is why they got rid of it.
yeah.
So does it have that possibility? I guess so. If someone
But
experienced
here's
it,
the kicker: just because we investigated it, you know, or John investigated and I was there, it also might be a certain person that triggers that from it. And maybe we're not it, you know? What was she, what,
the hair.
yeah, that, I don't know if it was hair or if it's that, what do they call it? That flax?
I don't know.
I don't know what it's, so not too sure
Yeah,
what she
but
was
to go
carrying
back
as an indicator of what I felt.
to go back to the building thing, like I said, I've yet to be to go into a building and like, oh man, I'm kind of worried about this one. You know, this one could be. I don't think I've gone in any yet that I've thought that way. Um, but objects, because of the things that have happened, yeah, man, I read some of those cards and I go, oh, you idiot, what are you gonna do now?
Well, I don't think I've felt that way going into a place, other than when I first went into Camp Evans, going down the second floor hallway. That really made me really uneasy and very uncomfortable, and not want to be going through there alone. But it wasn't until we did Frenchtown, and I didn't feel it at first. I actually felt very comfortable, very welcome there. I love this inn. I mean, and the room that what happened to me was my favorite room in all of the house. I told you that. That room upstairs in Frenchtown.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
was connected to it from the go when we did the tour. Like, I said to him, I could live in this room. I was so
Yeah, it was a
connected.
beautiful little
And
room.
yet the stuff that happened to me in that room, and knowing after what happened, I won't go back. I will never go back.
Now, Brenda asked, do we think that there are spirits that kind of repeat ghosts that because they know they're familiar with us? I have this really weird theory when it comes to the creeper gallery and the objects after all this years of doing, and I could be wrong. And believe me, I'm not saying that I know everything, and because I don't. I could be completely wrong on this one because there is really no way of knowing. But I the way I've always like categorized it or had it in my head was is that if let's say I'm sitting in a metal chair and like a therapy group session, and there's 6 people all around here. You know what I mean? And chairs in front of me, on the side of me, and yet I'm only leaning this way and I'm talking one on one here. That these people here aren't really part of the conversation because her and I
Right.
are talking.
We're connected.
So they're probably talking to themselves, and maybe one of them could chime in every now and then, but this is where my attention is, and this is who I'm conversing with. I really have that in my brain. When I'm there, I'm directing all of my energy and all of my attention to that person who's on that corner.
Do you ever think that some of the darker, more powerful stuff sometimes can try to interfere with that?
Well, this is what happened with the African ritual items. They are aware of the other stuff, and because they are in the spirit realm, I think there's more more
Awareness of.
well, not just awareness. I think they're able to communicate, sense each other's energy, see what the other ones are doing or what they've done. I think they have access to all of that. But again, is it possible that it's the same guy every time messing with us?
Yeah,
Sure. I
sure.
mean, but that's why you go through and you try to validate and catch voices but I really do have that mindset. I've always have since I've gone in there of when one object and I take it out and I introduce myself, I'm talking to that person, I'm talking to them. I'm
Yeah.
not talking to anybody else around me. I'm talking to them. And I try to confirm that the best that I can.
Heather said that we're the episode of Kindred Spirits are on. I don't think I was on the episode at all. That's when I had my back
no, it was me and
procedure
Tanya,
done.
really.
Yeah, and I don't think I would have been on it. I was there in the room with the camera people after my procedure that one night, but I don't think I would have even been on it to begin with because that you guys went in where Captain John and Mary Ellis, and Captain John doesn't like me
Man,
up there.
there's a whole story around
You
that.
had to sleep in that room, Sally.
There's a whole story around that episode that we'll probably never ever be able to tell. Maybe one day we'll be able to tell. But Tanya and I got a lot of good stuff in
Oh,
that
amazing
room,
stuff
and
up there.
even the cameramen. We're
you
not,
guys responded to him.
we're
like
not TV people, so everything that happened, we'd look at them or like, "Did you hear?" And they're like, "No,
we're not
don't
here.
talk
We're
to us."
visible.
They told us that beforehand, but they nodded like, "Yeah, we heard it, we saw it," And we got so much, and we thought that was going to show in the episode, but it really didn't, and that kind of disappointed us because we got some great stuff, man. Really great stuff.
Yeah, you both did an amazing job.
But I mean, it was a cool experience to see it, how it works and how they do it. But unless you have control over everything, it's hard to be part of stuff like that. What was that?
Sally slept in the room that I had that experience in. I love that room. Love that room.
But it's
Frenchtown.
Oh.
Yeah. So we went and did an investigation there for those that don't know the story, and we split up. John went down into the basement on the first floor.
I always go in the basement.
And Tanya and Kenny did the whole second floor together. And I went up to the top floor to that room because that room just drew me. And I thought, if I'm going to do something alone, I'm going to go somewhere where I'm going to be comfortable. And I was really drawn to this room. It was like everything's going to be fine. And it's on camera. It's videoed. I'm there. I'm talking to what's there in the chair. It was winter. The heat was on right next to me. And all of a sudden, ice cold. I remember it being ice cold coming, and that's all I remember. And John says when he came upstairs, I was behind the door, and he didn't know where I was and couldn't find me.
Total Blair Witch moment. Total Blair Witch. I pushed open the door, and because she was standing behind it, I didn't see her. I could scan the whole room because it wasn't a big room, and I'm like, where the hell did she go? Where'd she go? And I'm calling for her, and I went into the room, and I just turned the door a little, and there she was standing, looking down, just like. And I'm like, again, I told the story before. I thought she was joking. I'm like, what are you doing? Knock it off. And she just kept looking down, and I touched her shoulder, and she shook, and she looked around as if she had just woken up, and then she hugged me, and that's how I knew something.
And then Tanya came up and took me out. Took me out of the building. I was sick. I was affected for 3 days, and didn't nothing. Remember nothing. Went back and watched the video because it was being videoed the whole entire time I was in the room. You see me asking questions of what's there and about the people and about the cemetery across the way and just trying to connect. And all of a sudden you see my head go down. I slowly come back up, and it's like I'm mocking myself. I repeat what I just said before in a strange way. And then all of a sudden I just get up and I walk out of the camera range. And then I'm watching the whole entire thing from that's how we found out the time period of how long I was up there. I hear I'm listening to John talk to Tanya and Kenny. They're going back and forth saying about what's going on the first floor in the basement and like that. And John goes, and none of them don't even realize that I'm still not there. And then finally John goes, Have you seen Chris? Do you know where she is? And everybody's like, no. And that's where you hear John coming up the stairs.
No, somebody asked the question before about
Hey, Brian.
on YouTube about can only imagine like what the cameramen are seeing like when they're filming all these shows, these paranormal shows. And Brian Murray, who's there right there, he was on the second incarnation of Ghost Hunters A&E, and he probably know way more than about that than we ever would. But I know Dakota was a Ghost Adventure cameraman before he was on Project Fear. And again, you wonder because the guys are when they were filming me, there were four guys. And both times when I was on the Dead Files and I got cut out of that episode, but there were four cameramen pointing cameras, and and they have the light, and it really is it's weird. And again, maybe we'll have Brian on one day to talk more in depth about this, because when you're with the people that we're with, Chris and Danielle and Nikki and Tanya, Kenny, whatever, you're so comfortable and familiar with them. And we don't have expensive gear, but even if like somebody was holding a camera, we had the Sony cams back in the day, just filming, it's just part of the thing. You forget that person's just there and that person's asking. But when you have a camera crew, it's different. You can't help but know they're there. They're there. I sat doing an EVP session with Amy. Amy Allen did the walkthrough. She told me where to go to do the EVP stuff. So they're like, you're going to go in the basement and you're going to go into this one room. I probably told this story before, so I apologize if I'm telling it again. I was invited on to Dead Files. The last episode they did in Arizona, I was invited there to be part of it, but I had no idea what I was going to be doing because Amy Allen never used a paranormal investigator before. So she invites me, and I had no idea what I was going to do. I'm there watching her do the walkthrough, headphones on, watching her curse like a sailor as she's walking through the building, laughing with the production people. And then Travis. She comes to me and she says, I want you to do an EVP session in two areas, here and here, 10 questions each. And I said to myself, you know how hard, like, EVP is like one of the toughest things. It's like it happens or it don't. And a lot of times it don't, especially when you're putting the pressure of, 10 questions, 10 questions. And one of the areas she told me to do it, the air conditioning kept clicking on. I kept telling her, it's not a good area. It's not a good area. You're going to hear that air kicking on. So sure enough, I did it up there. That was wasted. Couldn't hear it, like I said. So both times I did it, I'm in a chair. They have one of those big lights on you, and four cameramen are like, you see me in the shot, but they're like 5 feet away from me, and they're leaning in. And it's such a weird, I guess you get used to it after a while, but I'm trying to act
well, that's the thing we can ask Brian. Do you get used to that?
And when we did it with Kindred Spirits, I'm thinking the whole time, my head, I'm so analytical when it comes to all this stuff. I'm thinking, okay, they're here. You can account for them making noises or talking because they don't. They know what they're doing. They know what they're part of. But if you can't see where everybody is, then you got a problem. Because if there's another guy who's part of their crew and he's getting another battery or doing whatever somewhere, you can't account for that. But it's such a weird thing because it's not natural to not react to people around you. And that's what our issue was with Kindred Spirits was.
You and Tanya.
Tanya and I are so used to being around people and we feed off each other. And, we're so into it that when things were going on, we're like
they would look.
The cameraman's 2 feet away from me.
They look at the cameraman and go, do you hear it? Do you want to hear it again?
Right and he's like waving me off like, no. And even when we did our cable access show, Chris and I, we're across from each other, and it was just a set with two chairs, and she sat next to me, and her and I were just like this.
Yeah.
And I would literally make jokes like I do now, and I'd look over at the cameraman, and I'd be like, right? And they'd wave me off as they were laughing.
And we would try hard not to. Okay,
it's so
so
hard to
the
like.
cable access show that we did for Woodbridge for a while.
I love that show. I wanna do it
Sometimes
again,
when
but I
things
love
are
it.
being filmed, you can stop and go, stop and go. And the one thing that they asked, we would prefer, and this is how John and I really got comfortable with doing
this.
stuff. Yeah, is because there was no stopping. If you make a
One take.
mistake, just correct it and keep going.
One take.
We don't want to stop and go stop. So it was straight through. Boom, boom. That's it. And this guy had to rein me in a lot, which he had a hard time doing.
But back to the thing of what, like the cameramen, you wonder because there is a guy, and again, Brian would know way more than I, other TV. There is an audio guy who really has directional microphones and boom mics who's hearing way more than they're hearing. Those are the guys that I would like to talk to. For the cameramen are basically experiencing what they're experiencing if they hear it.
They're so busy with the what's got to be on their lens.
They probably hear it too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and they can pick up stuff on the mics.
Yeah, well, don't give me the camera, the mic, because I'll probably break it.
That's the guy where he's like he can
he's
hear
hearing
that
those
whisper
sounds.
or the footsteps, and he's like, "Hey, man, you know." But
well, isn't that what Lauren does for? She's one of their
the camera person.
Yeah. See, I'd get scared, drop it, and run. So I would not make a good camera person or boom person.
I mean,
Steve wouldn't stay in that room, huh?
We've filmed stuff before, and we've been on camera, but it's not natural. I mean, and I don't. Kindred Spirits, their crew. They have a very good crew.
Oh, very good crew.
What I give them all the credit in the world because I was there for a lot of stuff, and they do just film. I mean, there's four of them, and they're just filming. They're not like, walking around. All the people that are involved are there in one spot, so you don't ever wonder about a noise or bang or whatever because they're in front of you. So they're a small crew, but they did a good job. You have antenna for energy pickup on the energy in the space, including camera people. I would do it. I don't get scared.
Never, huh, Travis?
You say you don't get scared till you get scared. I would say I don't get scared, but I do. I mean, it takes something substantial, but I've been in situations.
Yeah, you almost got pushed down the attic stairs.
Yeah, I almost got pushed down steps.
Good night, Kathy.
That scared me pretty good.
And Kathy, thank you for the batteries and stuff. We greatly appreciate that.
One of the craziest things I did, and it goes back to my childhood phobia of being in the dark. And I told that story about going in the basement and have to pull that string for light.
I don't think anybody
like to test myself by walking in pitch black areas and just standing still. I've done it at the mine. I've done it at other places because I think that's when you're most vulnerable. And I think that if they're there and they know you're in that position, if there aren't any there that really want to stir things up, they're going to come, And we were at a restaurant that a friend of mine, won't say his name, but he knew the people that owned it. And there was a man who literally had his anniversary dinner there, and he had a heart attack and died right at the table with his wife. Yeah. And people were seeing shadow figures in that area. So we went in there, and some of the waitresses and waiters were kind of nervous because they'd seen this shadow figure and heard things. So they'd seen him in the kitchen a few times. So I wandered in there while she was somewhere else. And I went into that kitchen. I got to a spot where I knew there was like a little bit of an opening. I turned off the light, went with my flashlight to this spot where I knew I wouldn't be close to the light switch, turned my flashlight off, put it on the counter, and I just stood there and waited. And I literally said out loud, I'm here by myself. There's no one else here. No one even knows I'm in here right now. I'm here by myself. And you better believe that whole entire time I was like, they're like breathing because I'm like, if one of these pans fall or if something touches my shoulder and I'm here by myself, and I'm in a strange place. I couldn't find the way
And there's
out that
knives in
easy.
there.
Man, I was ready for it, but it didn't happen. But yeah,
But were you?
I was
But
scared.
weren't you kind of like daring or like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm here? I'm like, why would you do that?
Because we weren't experiencing anything up to that point. So I wanted to see if I tested it, me by myself, just as if somebody would have been alone in the kitchen. Only I
I'm
turned
the
the
only
lights out
sane
too.
person on this team.
Would they come?
That's not something I would do.
I mean,
So Luann said she got scared for the first time at the prison in the boiler room when she saw a shadow Saturday. Wonder if she saw the same shadow figure you saw down there by the boiler room.
I told her about that. Who I think I saw was Henry, but it might not have been.
But it was big.
Yeah, she said she saw.
Oh crap.
No, we don't really do many cases anymore, private cases. We haven't done one in a while. We're kind of busy with what we do.
I'm with you, Brenda.
I do still get calls, and if I get calls, I refer them to one or two people that I know and I trust. But yeah, we haven't been out on one
house calls
in a long time.
House calls are it's a very tricky, delicate situation because you don't know what you're going into. You don't know if you're actually going into something that's haunted. You don't know if you're going into somewhere where there's psychological issues, mental issues, medication, building issues. There's a lot of stuff that's involved when you go into someone's home, and you've got to and if you're dedicated to doing that, you've got to be really, really careful because it's not like doing an event or going to an asylum that's closed down and people are going through and doing an investigation. You're affecting someone's life, and you don't know to what magnitude you're affecting them by what you're doing. So it's walking a tightrope. And if you don't have the tools
and the resources you need,
and that's what I'm saying, to take care of this. And we were all so different in what we brought to the table that we were very I think we were really good at what we did and with the resources that we had. We don't have some of those resources that I think and John thinks that's very pertinent to doing home. So we take that stuff really serious and not lightly. So you're not just going in for, hey, let's see if this is haunted and let's go see what we can. And
I really haven't even gotten an email or a call in a while. It's been a long while since I've gotten one. And the last one
I don't think I'm in a frame of mind to do that right now.
Well, the last one we did was a person who had some issues that wasn't paranormal related, and I think we helped that. And
we did.
It had nothing to do with spirits. It was just something else. And we did our diligence. We brought people in, we counseled, which is very important, and that was that. But no, I haven't really gotten.
There's somebody that we're good friends with, and we'll always have a connection with them. And I'm not going to say who they are because they do stuff with us and they're around people, and you would know who it is. We met because of they needed a private investigation of what was going on in their home, and it was surrounded someone that they had lost.
Yeah, we told this story before.
Yeah, and I had just flown back in the day before from losing my mom, and the connection that we have over this, and it was a very emotional and a very heart-wrenching situation. If it hadn't been handled right, the ramifications of that could have been really, really bad for the individual.
I'll tell you something else that's really strange. It's sidetracked because I just read a comment on YouTube. One of the weird things that happened at Burlington Prison was they have this kind of area that's called the workstation, something or other area, um, where they have all stuff that they used to work on. I guess they had jobs, some of them in the prison. And we were mapping on the SLS two figures that looked like it was residual. It looked like they were just there, going about their business, working, not with no knowledge of us being there or talking to them. They were just there. And the weird thing about that was, and this, I believe Tracy was in this group, was I had a touch lamp on one of the benches, and one of them, you saw the hand, and it went right over, and it came on. It did it quite a few times during that group. But then with other groups, it would do it intermittently. But it was such a strange thing because it appeared residual. It appeared like they had
Hi, Tina.
no knowledge of us whatsoever. They would go back and forth, doing whatever they were doing, and then boom, touched the lamp, turned it on. We actually saw the figure touch it. That was pretty cool. I love stuff like that.
I wish that would that was able to catch on video so you could see it. Maria's commentary was great. What was the commentary?
Yes, me. I don't remember.
Oh, they were.
But yeah, that was really, really cool.
So you obviously had, like, there was something down there affecting in people, because a lot of people said that the basement was really, really cool.
Tracy.
That there was a lot of stuff going on with
But again, you build on that. Now, next time I go in there, I kind of know what to expect, and I want to try some different things to engage and try to draw out. And
yeah, I'm gonna do something a little bit different this time too.
And even down the other end, I want to do some more stuff because I didn't really venture out past the murder area. But anyway,
Tracy was in that group.
Wanted to come on, say hello, talk about this past weekend and the first event. And Brenda, thank you for being there, and Janet, you guys are good friends, and we support everything you guys do. And if you get a chance, even if we're not there, go visit the Burlington Prison Museum. Just living history, man. That building is.
And what they're going to be
awesome.
Rolling out later this year, you guys are going to want to experience it. 100%.
The building's awesome. Too. Worth the tour. I mean, and I know they have like you can rent a spirit box if you go through there and do kind of stuff, but definitely worth the tour. Go check it out even during the day. And
so Deb says, off topic, hotel discounts available. We have a meeting with a hotel this Wednesday. So if anybody's pre-booking a hotel, the expo doesn't get credit for your stay there, and you guys won't get the discounts for it because it's a process with corporate. All hotels have to deal with their corporate offices. So once we get in there and we get everything finalized and the contract signed, then they get a discount link from their corporate office. So it's a process. It takes time, and we got plenty of time. And I know last year everybody booked it before and they wanted the discount, and they just won't do that. So
speaking of the expo, VIP party, both nights tickets are available. Admission tickets are available. The gallery reading tickets, Cindy Casa, available. And again, we're going to have tickets available for New Jersey Paranormal at the Van Horn House in Bridgewater. Probably tomorrow, the next day, the link is going to go up. And what's funny about that is, if you don't know the Van Horn building, it's literally across the street from the Patriots minor league baseball stadium. So I literally had to think, because I couldn't get an earlier date, I had to go look at the home and away schedule to schedule the event. Because we've never done a game when they had a game. An event
no, good God.
So I literally had to find a date in April that fit the away schedule. So that should be up tomorrow or the next day. The event after that, we'll talk about after that. We're not going to go into detail about
Patricia,
that.
she's not. She's actually going to be out of the country, but John's setting up. I think you just announced it.
Anyway, Patty Negre is doing the gallery reading for the expo. So we'll talk about the other event at another point soon. But no, Cindy will be in Egypt in November. So Patty Negre will be doing the gallery reading. So that's it for tonight, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support as always. Am I sure there'll be a creeper gallery this week? It's already Tuesday tomorrow or Wednesday. It all depends on what my body lets me do. And at this point, I would say no, because I need to recover. And I don't see that happening in the next day or two. So
during the winter months, it is hard to do every week. It depends on a lot of things because the cold really has an effect.
Well, speak for yourself, okay?
I know.
Mr.
Yeah.
I step up.
Anyways,
okay, remember?
Mr. Stuff a Lot.
That's you.
Have a good night. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And please remember to be kind to each other.
We'll be back probably
Like
Wednesday, Thursday night-ish, talking about whatever. Hopefully having a guest on. Trying
Good
to
night,
set a couple of
everybody.
people up. Still talking.
I'm done.
All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll see you soon. A couple of days, probably Wednesday or Thursday. All right.
Good night.
Have a good night.